I am a huge fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise. I was introduced to this franchise by Assassin's Creed 3, and I have loved this franchise ever since. However, for a long while, I have hated the newer Assassin's Creed games because the newer ones became more of an action RPG, and they were a lot different than previous Assassin's Creed games. Previous games were more like action adventure games, and I love that about Assassin's Creed. But now the franchise is like an action RPG with there's a lot of side quests to do. You got skill points, you got different gear that you can equip, and a giant open world to explore. I used to put so much hate on these games that truthfully I never actually played, and I was just following the bandwagon. However, I decided to buy and actually play Assassin's Creed Odyssey and give it a chance, and I have to say that I was wrong about the newer Assassin's Creed games. Okay, well, I can't really say anything about Assassin's Creed Origins or Valhalla because I haven't played those games, but at least with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I was wrong. Assassin's Creed Odyssey has become my third favorite Assassin's Creed game after Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed 4. I have been having so much fun playing this game and doing all the side quests that I could find and just exploring the world. I love it. The combat is something that I actually really like as well, with it kind of being more fast paced than previous titles, and it feels so much fun fighting enemies in this game, especially since you can actually Spartan kick people off cliffs. Now, unlike previous games where you can just basically counter kill every enemy, or like even chain kill them and then win, you can't really do that in Odyssey. Instead, you kind of have to always stay on your toes because they can take you out easily if they overwhelm you. The gear you have in this game is also really cool, which each gear set not only giving you armor, but it also gives you more hunter damage, warrior damage, or assassin damage. Hunter damage means you do more damage with bows and from long range. Warrior is more damage up close and in direct combat. And assassin is like stealth kills and assassinations. It also looks really cool. Like each pair of gear looks really cool. You can even make yourself look like a Spartan or like a like Athenian uh assassin or something. It's awesome. Or just a plain assassin, and I love that. Now, probably the biggest thing about this game that, unlike previous Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it does not have the hidden blade at all. Instead, what you use for assassination is in fact the spear of Leonidas, a weapon that was used by Leonidas during the Battle of 300 that you experience at the beginning of the game, and it's a family heirloom passed down from your mother, and I love this. I love this so much. Now, I love the Hidden Blade. It's probably one of my favorite weapons in all of video game. But like, if I remember correctly, I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey takes place in a time before the Hidden Blade is even created. So the fact that they have a way around this with the Spear of Leonidas, I actually really like. And now, at the beginning of the game, you can choose which character you want to play as. You don't actually have one character that you play as in this game. You actually have two that you can choose them. You can play as either Alexios or Cassandra. Now, me personally, I did not choose Alexios. I chose Cassandra, and I personally love her so much. I think she has actually become one of my favorite characters in all of Assassin's Creed. I really do love her. I also really think how you have. I really like how in this game you have dialogue options during conversations, and while most of the time it just adds on information about what quest you're about to do, if you're going to take somebody out, what item you're going to get, like it really just gives you more information, but you can decide what you want to do, what you want to say. You might be given an option to kill somebody and let them live, and these options can even affect the ending of some quest. There was a quest that I did where I decided, like, this witch was coming up saying, like, that she'll make a love potion. I decided to follow along with it, and then the quest ended with the girl, with a girl being shaved, like her hair being all shaved off, and I chose the option to kill the witch for doing that to both her and fooling me. However, like, there are like some characters that you are even given the option of flirting and eventually sleeping with. And yeah, you can choose to romance them and just stay focused on the quest and keep things professional. I really love this. I also really love the setting of ancient Greece and being able to take part in the war between Sparta and Athens. And I honestly think ancient Greece might be one of my favorite settings in all of Assassin's Creed. I don't think it's my favorite, but I really do love it. Being able to explore and see cities like Athens or even statues of Greek gods, it's awesome. To help with exploration, you even have an eagle that you can control and tells you if there's a undiscovered location nearby or if there's a quest, or it even lets you know where chests are in order to complete a location. It is so useful. A new mechanic that was added into this game was the Mercenaries, and they basically count as bounty hunters when you have a wanted level, and they will actually track you down and hunt you down. They there have been many times where I would be clearing an area and then I would go and then I would get a wanted level because I'm fighting guards, and then a mercenary would just show up exactly where I was, and I would have to fight them on the spot while I'm fighting all these other guards. But you also find them just wandering around as well, which it makes them feel like actual like people. You find these mercenaries wandering the world, walking around or riding horses, and it's really fun finding these mercenaries. And some of them are the same level, some of them might be a level lower than you, some of them are levels extremely high, and you can choose whether or not to fight them. But I have come across many mercenaries that were like level 40, and I didn't even try about fighting them. I was like, I'm not gonna even try to fight you. But there's been times where I've come across uh, mercenaries that are one level higher than me, and even though it was a challenge to defeat them, it was a blast fighting them. Now, you can also sail in this game, and you even have naval combat in this game. And while I do not think it's as fun as or as good as the naval combat and sailing in Assassin's Creed 4, it is still a lot of fun. And you can even do some like boarding, but again, it's not as fun as it was in Assassin's Creed 4. Assassin's Creed 4 really had the best naval combat and really just feeling of being a pirate. Like, and also, I really love the songs that your crew sings. Whenever you go sailing, your crew starts singing, and it's really good. But again, they aren't as good as the sea shanties from Assassin's Creed 4. But I'm also very biased to that because I love those shanties. I listen to the sea shanty. I listen to sea shanties from Assassin's Creed 4 in my car whenever I like go places. So I'm very biased on that. I love those, but it's still really nice to hear. Now the main enemies in this game you have to fight against are the Cult of Cosmos, and I actually don't really care that much about them. You have to find clues in order to reveal who the cult members are, and then you go and take them out. However, I don't really like that the cult is supposed to be this extremely powerful and deadly thing, but they don't really do anything unless you go out and find them yourself. So far, only once did I really have a cult member come out of nowhere and attack me. It felt like I was actually being hunted by them, but the rest of them, they stay in one area, they don't do anything else, and they basically wait for you to come and take them out. And since these are the main villains, it is very underwhelming. And honestly, like fighting the mercenaries are more fun to fight than the cult members as well. Now, I mentioned earlier how you can even take part in the war between Sparta and Athens, and you can do that by doing conquest battles that unlock after you load the defenses of whatever nation is in control, whether it be Sparta or Athens. However, I don't know if the game is doing this or if it's a glitch, but I would go to the map in areas that I already did the Conquest Battle for, it would say the other side now controls that area. So like for example, I've been choosing to help Sparta throughout my playthrough, and there are some areas that for some reason, even though they were under Spartan control, all of a sudden they're under Athenian control, even though it was under Spartan control. And it's just annoying having to redo these battles. Again, I don't know if the game is doing this or if it's a glitch and something's wrong. I spent years hating on this game because it was different than previous Assassin's Creed games. However, I never played it. I never played the game, but now playing the game, I've played hours upon hours playing this game, and I still have a lot to do. I'm nowhere near beating this game. I don't even think I even made it halfway through the story mode. And I am loving this game so much. It has already become my third favorite Assassin's Creed game after Assassin's Creed 3 and 4. And yes, I even love it more than Assassin's Creed 2. I love this game, and I wish I didn't follow the bandwagon of people hating this game because this game is fantastic. I'm having so much fun, and frankly, I was wrong about Assassin's Creed Odyssey.